Life can be chaotic. If you're running a retail business, don't let disorganized order fulfillment add to the chaos. Use ShipStation instead. With ShipStation, you never have to worry about shipping and fulfillment again. Whether you're running a business out of your garage or you have multiple warehouses, ShipStation is ideal for every phase of your business's growth. Save time with one login for all your stores and by automating repetitive tasks. Plus, you'll save money with the best shipping rates from global carriers. ShipStation's industry-leading features help you deliver a better customer experience. They'll get accurate and faster shipments along with automated tracking updates with your branding. And with up to 88% off UPS and USPS rates and up to 90% off FedEx rates, ShipStation is the fastest and most affordable way to ship. Calm the chaos. Switch to ShipStation today. Start a free trial at shipstation.com/audio. That's shipstation.com/audio.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in here on a Monday. We are live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Very busy hour. In 15 minutes, we'll reset the NBA and NHL numbers and tell you the latest players who are expected to play tonight. We'll even update some of the guys who are going to be missing tomorrow night and who might be missing tomorrow night as well at that time. Chad Andrus from 104.3 The Fan in Denver coming up in 30 minutes. My God, what an unbelievable time in that city right now, too. Everything going on sports-wise. And the draft. Don't forget Sanders and obviously Hunter there. There is one game right now, Pauly, in action in Major League Baseball. The Mets doing it again. They lead the Nationals 6-0 as they play in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-run shot by Brandon Nimmo, who has a couple of hits today for the Mets.
Canning's been good, too. They won all of his starts. Figure to win this one again today. 10.5 the in-play total. And I know they stubbed their toe a little bit over the weekend, had a couple errors. But it's been a great start for the Mets. And again, it's heating up here with only a couple of days left with that most wins in April prop that people love to bet.
It's good. So coming up in this hour, in about 10 minutes, the Twins are playing at the Guardians. This is Ober versus Williams. Ober so far this year has pitched to a 5.04 ERA. The FIP around the same number. A little bit unlucky with the batting average of balls in play, which is above 320 right now, but he's also allowing almost 2 home runs per 9. Gavin Williams goes for the Guardians. He's been walking a lot of batters at 4.15 batters per 9. By game in order, it's been 3, 2, 4, and 2. So I did look. Something I don't want to sleep on any longer would be like the walk props every single night by pitchers. The Twins, though, walk at only about 8.4% of their at-bats. So I did not get involved with Williams because it's also juiced heavily to the over tonight with that number. The Twins had a great weekend against the Angels.
Okay, are you going to give them credit or just say schedule and Angels soft mattress?
That's a great question. How do you feel about it?
I think the Twins stink.
Yeah.
I think they caught the Angels at the right time.
I think that might be very well said.
Yeah.
That should have been, when we talked about that series on Friday, we should have been very strong on a potential sweep.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
I know. Or betting the Twins like every single day other than Friday.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be riding the hot streak currently for the Twins tonight.
Cleveland owned them last year. Went 10-3. Cleveland, along with the A's, worst defense in the league. Do with that what you want as well. And I'm definitely concerned here that this Yankee line isn't moving.
That's my biggest. You're spot on.
Baltimore, second most home runs allowed behind the A's. Yankees tied with the Dodgers for most home runs. Judge, number 1 in average, on base, and slugging. They did the right thing finally. Williams out, Weaver in for the closer role. Baltimore lost 6 of 7. Third worst record in all of baseball. How can that be? Or did they screw this up?
Mm-hmm.
Yet the Yankees only $1.35 with Warren today.
Here at Circa, I think it came back down a little bit now, minus 127 on the Yankees. I don't get it. I really don't. Sugano, by the way, again, one of the lowest K rates I've ever seen for a starting pitcher. It's 2.89 Ks per 9. He's also walking more than 1.5 batters per 9. He's allowing almost 2 home runs per 9 innings. The BABIP has been very low. That's why his ERA is at 3.54, but the truer number with the FIP is 5.64. For him to walk 2+ batters tonight, it's minus 170. But like you, this feels like an autoplay on the Yankees, but it's only moved like 7 cents from the opener last night when it was minus 120. Do they think that does the market think that this Orioles offense is going to pound Warren tonight?
They're giving the Orioles too much respect.
Yeah, there's no way they trust Sugano. There's no way you can.
No. They're the third worst ROI, too.
So, man,
wow.
Should we just bet him anyway? It's going to be one of those things where you're going to hate yourself if you don't. The team total on the Yankees is 5.5, by the way, which is a touch high.
Okay, it's Gibson tomorrow, too. I was looking. I thought it was Gib. It's Rodon against Gibson tomorrow.
Well, they get Morton on Wednesday?
Do they?
I think they might.
Almost every start, his numbers are terrible. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When Matt Vasgersian came on 90 minutes ago from MLB Network, he said it's probably not going to go well for the Orioles again this week.
I'm with him.
Okay.
I agree.
First pitch coming up in 35 minutes. It's Palante going for the Cardinals and Martinez against, going for the Reds. This is a massive Malinsky special. So the Reds are coming home from a long road trip, 9 games overall. They played in Baltimore, Miami, and Colorado. They won there yesterday. Day off last Thursday, but that was their only day off since April 14th. The problem with this is, and again, maybe this is part of your handicap, I would not recommend that you bet the Malinsky specials blindly. Cardinals are plus 110 right now at Circa. St. Louis is 2-11 on the road. Palante on the mound, 4.05 ERA, but his FIP is 5.41. I'll throw this out there. I haven't bet it. I'm pondering a bet on it. Ellie De La Cruz, I see, is like plus 625 to hit a home run tonight. He's never that high. Or I should say rarely. Maybe I miss a day or two by looking at his numbers, but I haven't seen him that high in a long time.
Okay. They've lost every start by Martinez as well, but it's not perfect by any means. But this Malinsky special is strong, and we saw one Friday come in as well. What happened? So I like the A's tonight. Not at home, on the road. These fluky numbers, I don't know what's going on. It's since Spider-Man here, Corbin got bit. Yeah. He's been good. But the A's $1.10 against Corbin, and Sears has been good. Second best road record, the A's. Problem with Texas got to get to 4 runs. When they get to 4 runs, they're 10-1. Haven't been getting to 4 runs. So you got to question the offense, and that's where Sears comes in. Last 4 against Texas, 4-0 with a 2.63. Seems like a good price tonight on the A's, who are having a good season, and you have to respect the Tigers as well. Houston, only $1.20 at home with Blanco, but Detroit, best record in the American League, 13-3 at home, top 4 starter and bullpen ERA. Love this rotation, and it's Flaherty today against the Astros.
So when I asked you that question earlier in the show, and the question was, if I give you a free bet right now on any team to win a future in Major League Baseball, could be the Pennant, could be the World Series, who would you bet it on? I said I think I'd bet the Tigers to win the American League.
You think they win the division? Are you strong on that? Should win the division.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think they're the best team in that division. Our buddy Chris Massero, Pro Sports Bettor, is listening today. He said, well, we're on the same page. He has them at 11-1 to win the American League, which it's down to, the best number I could find is 7-1. So people are absolutely buying into it. Plus, they were a great story last year, and you have an absolute hammer in Tariq Skubal, who did it again yesterday. It was fantastic. You're going to have the edge with him no matter who he goes against. And they're buying into the young talent that they have on the team as well. They're 6-1 or 7-1 is the absolute best I can find right now on the Tigers.
They're the same odds. No, they're not. They're $1.50 to win the division at DraftKings. I was going to ask you about the Cubs because they're $1.75 now to win the division. And if you're buying the Cubs.
I am buying the Cubs.
Dodgers are still $4. Wow.
Well, the problem is the National League is so stacked.
Yeah.
The team that's in action right now, I fully believe in the Mets. I'm pretty much right there with the Cubs. You have to be with the Dodgers, even though they haven't had as good of a start as people think.
Well, the bullpen's blown games, and they got a ton of injuries.
Right.
But they still have a good record. Phillies, no good. Oh, what's 11-0 Mets? My God.
Okay, wow.
Grand slam. So where are you at with the Phillies?
No, I like the Phillies, for sure. You have to take them seriously.
Well, Nola's terrible. That's one concern, though.
He was great last night against that Cubs offense. And then the other thing would be how many teams in the West of the National League are going to be really good at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Padres got swept at home by the Rays. How about that? And then the Giants, I think, are probably you got to take them seriously.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, it's a little early. I still want to give it another month or so on the Giants, but
okay, fair. I don't want to overreact.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
maybe you
give
have
a month.
something. Maybe Detroit's the way to go. Okay.
I'm really thinking about the Braves-Rockies first 5 over tonight. I would prefer a Braves team total over maybe instead of that.
Oh, these
it's tough to find.
Feltner against the Braves, awful. It's been rough.
Well, we can always get creative too. Could maybe look at the Yerfie.
0-3 with an ERA of 11 going back against Atlanta. 4-23 on the season. You can go first 5 over. You go first 3 over.
First 3's another way.
You can go Yerfie. You can do that. Or why not? You can just go Braves run line too. As now they're playing good ball. If they sweep them, they get back to 500 after that putrid start.
Minus 135 for a run in the first inning tonight. Again, the guy the Braves who are throwing out there tonight hasn't exactly been hot.
Yeah.
Elder, he's got a really bad ERA, and the FIP's even worse. And his peripherals are just bad. But the problem is, again, are the Rockies going to come through and give you many runs on their own?
Yeah,
I don't know what the strength is of Colorado. They don't have one.
No, not with that record.
Like the Rockies last year.
No, please. How do you want to attack the Dodger game? Just what the prop Vasgersian gave out? Dodgers are 280 now. It's great because it's Cabrera for the Marlins. And the last time he went, Ohtani 6 for 6, 10 RBIs.
Yeah.
And he just go bet the Ohtani props tonight. 8.5 the total.
This is how bad Cabrera has been so far. Again, looking at the walks props, he's walking almost 5 batters per 9. 3 starts this year, 3, and 2 walks. One of those starts, I think, only lasted 1 2/3 innings. Could be wrong on that. I might have that mixed up with somebody else. Sorry about that. His prop tonight, Pauly, is 2.5 walks. The over's minus 170. You have to lay 70 cents of juice that he's going to walk at least 3 guys. Will he even last enough innings against the lineup?
Jeez.
If he's bashed around before he can even walk 3 guys, they have to yank him maybe.
Okay. That was Nimmo again. That's a grand slam. Is that 7 RBIs?
It's got to be then.
Check that out. How many RBIs does that guy have tonight? He just hit the grand slam.
3 for 4, 7 RBIs, 2 home runs.
Okay. Check out the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com, where real bettors go to get ahead. Chasing steam, copying picks, recycling the same old, quote, value plays. They're not sharp. Sharp Plays is the source they're echoing since 2011. Locked in what the real pros are betting. Elite groups, sharp money that move the market. Insider info, powerful AI tools. Get ahead. Free betting reports. Real-time alerts, next-level intel via email or on X, sharpplays.com. Don't follow the crowd, lead it at the Sharp Plays.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, here we go with the playoff schedule that we have tonight. 4 games combined, NBA and the NHL. The news on Jimmy Butler is that he is expected to play in this game tonight. But earlier today, the Warriors were up to 4.5-point favorites, back down to 3.5, and then 4 at FanDuel. I guess I'm looking on the screen right now. There's still a 4.5 out there, and now they're starting to move to 4 pretty much across the board.
I like the Warriors with Jimmy plays. This Houston offense has been so putrid in games 1 and game 3. You got to win that game Saturday night without Butler. Warriors got away with one. Steph didn't have much help either. I mean, Buddy Hield was huge in that game. Yep. So the difference this guy makes, though, since the trade, 3rd best record, number 1 in defense, number 1 in turnovers forced, number 1 in points off turnovers. And if he's in there, I don't think it's going to go well for Houston. And it seems like a great price. Golden State on the money line tonight at home.
Well, we have more news, actually, because he's in. He's playing. That's moments ago. Also moments ago, Oh, did they just delete the tweet? Okay. Well, here's another one, though. In the other game, Darius Garland is now officially a game-time decision.
Well, what's this all about now?
And that game's tipping off in what?
That goes at 4:30.
Yeah, so an hour and 15 minutes?
No, that really screws. That messes things up for props as well.
I'm staying away.
Yeah.
I can't. I want to do Strus,
It's a
but
mess.
if I bet Strus 2.5 right now, over, plus money, and
Hunter
then,
was good too. I mean, they got so many guys that can score, and they get whatever they want offensively. Again, you said it earlier, how tough this game is to handicap. I like the over again. We got robbed Saturday. Robbed. Cleveland scored 124 points. Miami quit. Awful offensively other than Bam and Mitchell. Looked like they quit in the second quarter. Hero does nothing. And Cleveland scores 124 points while missing their first 8 shots of the third quarter and scored 4 points in the first 5 minutes of the game. So Atkinson also preaching defense and rebounds. They killed them on the boards. Does Miami show anything tonight? I still would take the 9, though. I would grab 9 with Miami, which I know Heat culture is officially dead. But after you played like that in the worst playoff loss.
What killed it, though? What killed the Heat culture?
What Butler did and giving in.
Because I wanted to say, like, you think you have a team handicapped after all these years of like, okay, it's Spoelstra, it's Pat Riley.
Right,
that
absolutely.
team's never going to tap out and they're never going to quit.
And they did.
And they did.
I know. Is it going to happen again, though? They're saying all the right things.
Honestly, there are too many games to bet on every single night. I haven't touched this game, and I don't think I'm going to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
It's also what you said earlier. What's your reward for winning? You go to Cleveland and get punished? You just extend the inevitable? Miami's 90-1 to win a series.
Well,
I mean, it's just Cleveland should be able to name their score. But after what happened Saturday, you think you get a better effort out of Miami. And it seems to me that when you get series 3-0, it's more of a regular season feel and you can get some higher scoring games.
All right. I kind of want the Heat to win this game so we get a Game 5 in Cleveland. And I know the Cavaliers will be laying a massive number there. That's fine. I think I'll lay alt numbers with the Cavaliers, probably first half and for the game. Because I would expect Miami to go back to Cleveland in Game 5 and get absolutely run out of the building. I think it'd have a repeat of what happened in Game 3. I don't know. I mean,
well, you might get that tomorrow. I think what you're asking for could be Indiana and Milwaukee. It's right there for you.
Yeah.
Milwaukee knows it's over, and it's going to be over for some time now, with Lillard out at least a year.
Yeah, why is that number so short?
Well, you got a problem with 8? How you want to make it?
More than that.
That's first half's a good bet. They keep jumping on them from Jump Street here.
First quarter and maybe first half. I think there's absolutely a scenario where the Bucks are completely non-competitive.
The 0-2 angle was interesting with what happened. It was backwards. Like Milwaukee won the game, but they were down at the half. Orlando won the game, but they were down at the half.
Yeah, true.
And Miami didn't show up.
Well, by the way, we have plenty of news in that Celtics series as well. Let me give this to you.
That's 11. Celtics are 11 tomorrow, and that's an 8:35 local tip on a Tuesday.
Wow. Drew Holiday officially out.
Again?
He's been ruled out already.
Oh.
Jaylen Brown, questionable. If he doesn't go, if I told you right now Jaylen Brown's not going to play, would you take the points with the Magic, knowing that Holiday can't play?
Yes.
I think I would too.
And take Banchero over points too.
Yep.
That no answer. Plus, he's taking all the shots. So many shots he took last. What did he take? 32 shots?
Well, who else do they have?
Other than Wagner, that's it.
It's Wagner and him, and that's it. I mean,
no help.
So this team, they've had injuries. I get that over the past, and I'm going back to like last year and stuff. Who do they have to help out those two guys? How poorly have they drafted over the years? Those two guys are awesome basketball players. In theory, the Magic should be in place to be like a player in the Eastern Conference. They're not close. They have to add at least probably 2 good scorers moving forward, and that's going to be way easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
So that number again, Warriors going back up to 4.5, pretty much the way it looks almost everywhere.
Okay. I like goal in the first 10 tonight with the Tampa-Florida game. As far as a side, good luck. Tough series. Road team 3-0, and Tampa saved their season, at least for the time being. But this has been strange with how this has played out. Tampa, the Jets, and the Knights were the only 3 teams in the top 5 in both categories. Goals scored and goals allowed. Vegas fighting for their lives. Winnipeg 2-2. Tampa down 2-1. Fewest goals allowed. Jets, Kings, Vegas, Tampa, New Jersey. How's that working out? I mean, it's backwards here, what's happened. So tonight's difficult. I would say goal in the first 10. I have no opinion on the side in the total. But it could be a great series. And again, we'll see how Florida responds in this one. And Colorado is $1.40 on the road against Dallas. Still laying this price, $1.70 series favorite, even though you don't have home ice. Blowouts in the 2 wins. Dallas 2 wins. Both came in overtime. And Ottinger got pulled in the last game. Problem hasn't been the goaltending, which was my concern. But they were outplayed in Game 3, but that was total domination in Game 4, what Colorado did. Now you got the short turnaround.
I'm seeing Colorado as low as $1.32 to win this game.
6.5's too high, isn't it? After how the last couple games have played out,
I don't
6.5.
This series probably not one of those that, like the King series now, is going to have a 6.5 every single night. Obviously, the way the Capitals and the Canadiens game played out never should have gone over 6.5 yesterday, but it did. So that's got to be probably the same thing. Like Devils, Hurricanes, that's going to be a lower scoring one. Blues, Jets, you're not going to go much higher than 5.5.
I thought that was garbage that Meyer wasn't called for a penalty running Anderson. Brindamore was livid. I don't blame him. That's juicy, though, now. I mean, if he figures to be out, should Carolina really be 280 with a backup goalie? Markstrom let in some softies, too. That killed him. And Toronto going back with a chance to eliminate a team, 1-12 since 2017.
Wow. And they're getting up there. They're $1.75 to win the game at some spots.
3 straight overtime games.
Which dog would you rather bet on in Game 5? Ottawa on the road or the Wild on the road? I had a healthy bet on the Wild in Game 4. Lost that one.
Yeah.
They had so many chances to win the game.
I would take the Wild. I don't think home ice matters. I think VGK's too much laying 230.
It's a huge number.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to come back with the Wild one more time.
Yeah.
On the road.
Vegas is too high. Carolina should win, but 280's too much. And they screwed us. They went backwards. They're supposed to win Game 3, lose
3
Game
in
4.
regulation.
They lost Game 3 and were great in Game 4. But Toronto shouldn't be $1.70 either, considering the last 3 games have gone to overtime. What do you do with the Kings game? The Kings are $1.30. Oh, should be over. I will say this: both teams gave away a game, so now we're good because Edmonton gave them Game 1.
I'll probably come back with the Kings at that price.
Yeah. They're a better team.
I'm also scared that
Kings take the lead. Does Edmonton come back again? Which they've done 3 times.
This is that very popular Undertaker meme on Twitter, right?
Right.
Where completely dead and buried. Oh, here he comes out of the casket now. Watch out. And suddenly he's breathing again. As we talked about earlier, you had him dead. You had that team completely dead. And now you gave McDavid and Draisaitl and company. Oh, boy.
That's what they said after the game. They know it, too. Why would you play prevent hockey when you're out playing them? It's not like they got a great goalie either.
Right.
You can
That's
score.
bad coaching.
You have a great power play. I ran down the numbers. They started the series 7 of 14 on the power play, and their power play stinks.
Sure. I mean, if we hate that across the board in the NFL, I mean, it crosses over to other sports as well. You're playing not to lose at that point.
Oh yeah, I've never seen a dominant. That was 35 minutes of total domination.
Agreed.
Because they're just dropping 5 guys back and begging Edmonton to shoot, and then you put them on a power play. Good luck. Mm-hmm. The ice was tilted. How they did that. Looking for a new way to feel the rush this Kentucky Derby? First bet, your front row seat to the best 2 minutes in sports and much more. Bet on the Derby and hundreds of races every day at firstbet.com. New users use promo code VSIN200. Get a $200 sign-up bonus. The Derby starts at First Bet. Get ready at firstbet.com.
I think I'm going to bet a couple of rebounding props tonight in the Rockets-Warriors game. Got to do it. Again, lower scoring games, a lot of missed shots, tons of opportunities for rebounds. Not going to go with Steven Adams again or Sengun because the numbers are too jacked up tonight, but definitely looking at Eason for the Rockets and maybe even a little Jabari Smith action as well. They out-rebound the Warriors in every single game.
Yep.
Lower scoring series. So a lot going on in the city of Denver, and Chad Andrus from 104.3 The Fan will pop on to discuss. So much to get into with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, the Nuggets, the Avs. He also thinks the Thunder might be up against it here. He'll explain next.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Brandon Nimmo with a 2-run double. Have yourself a day, kid. 4 for 5, 9 RBIs, and 2 home runs, 11 total bases so far for the Mets.
I was rooting for another grand slam.
So was I.
He was up at the bases loaded again.
All right, we head out here to the Progressive Guest Line. Chad Andrus does a great job in Denver, 104.3 The Fan. Anything going on in that city, Chad?
Yeah, just a quiet weekend, do some spring cleaning, some yard work. Nothing happening at all around here.
Sounds about right. So we talked about this earlier in the show, like where was the national media person who told us before the draft on Thursday, before the draft, right? Like, guys, Shedeur Sanders is not going third to the Giants. He's not going ninth to the Saints. He's not going to the first round. A major slide could happen. I'm still waiting to find out, like, where was the national person when we needed him the most? Did you think that was possible, living there and being close to that program? Did anybody in Denver think what happened to Sanders could actually take place?
There was a lot of talk about him sliding, but I think people thought him sliding meant that, somewhere in the 20s, the Giants would trade back in or somebody would trade back in and get him towards the end of the first round, or even ultimately, a Lamar Jackson situation where somebody comes in, steals him with one of those last two picks of the first round, so they would have a fifth-year option on the quarterback. But that was the definition of the slide going in, not the fifth round.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were on this from the get-go. You saw an interview he did after they fired Lewis, the OC, and then promoted Shermer. So what struck out to you about that interview about NFL teams aren't going to like this?
Yeah, so it was a little while removed. It was probably 6 weeks, 2 months after, and it was after the season. But he was asked about what happened when Sean Lewis had his play calling duties taken away. It was demoted, and ultimately Pat Shermer came in year one of the Coach Prime era. And Shedeur said that his style didn't match what I like to do. He liked a lot of choice routes where the receivers would read the coverage and make their break based on what they saw, and then I had to throw to the same thing that they were seeing. I don't like that. I want to be the one making the decision where they go and where the ball goes. And as soon as I heard him say that, I cringed and I said, the NFL is not going to like that, because every snap in the NFL, the receiver is making a read, the quarterback is making a read, and you're relying on them to be on the same page to do the right thing. And Shedeur doesn't want that responsibility on his receiver. He wants to know where he's going to go with the ball. And the NFL is not going to like that at all.
Mm-hmm. Mitch was right, too, about where's the veteran reporter stepping up and giving these stories and why a guy who was supposed to go top 10 goes fifth round. Give us some of the horror stories you heard about tanking interviews and what happened during the meetings.
Yeah, one big thing that stood out is, he wore a sideways hat to one interview that a lot of people didn't like. You guys had talked about being on the FaceTime call or whatever it was and keeping it on during the interview. The other one that really stands out that I had heard is that Brian Daboll had given him a playbook the night before in a meeting and asked him to go over some stuff and then come in and discuss the game plan and the book the next day. And Shedeur completely whiffed on it, didn't really do the prep, didn't know it, wasn't impressed. And when Daboll pressed him on it, Shedeur kind of pushed back and said, no, this is why I do it this way, and you're wrong, and kind of gave him some flack about that. And there's one source here in Denver that is as good as it gets in covering this league, and he's done it for not just a little while, but decades. Very, very good. And I had heard from him that in his estimation, the Giants had spent more time, money, resources, scheduled more meetings, talked to more people, watched more tape scouting Shedeur than he thought any other team ever had with any other player. They were trying to talk themselves into it, and Shedeur's responses in those meetings absolutely talked them out of it.
Holy smokes. Okay, so having said all that, right, I made the case earlier that this slide can only be a good thing for him, right? And we had a guest on, Tony Rizzo from Cleveland, who said he's absolutely going to start a game at some point this year. Is it a waste of money for people in the audience to bet this kid to win Rookie of the Year, in your opinion?
Yes, because it's the Cleveland Browns. And look, I heard Tony. And Tony's great, right? And he knows what he's doing. He knows that team. He knows the history. But think about it on the surface. The Browns this offseason bring in 4 quarterbacks knowing that they're probably going to have to cut 2 of them. So that's what you're spending your resources on? Your free agency money and your draft capital? You're spending it knowing that we got 4 guys here. 2 of them aren't going to be on the team. Like, how wise is that? And what is that going to be like when rookie minicamp starts and Shedeur walks in there? Because Shedeur, and people talk about him being humbled, his approach is not going to change. His swagger is not going to change. He's going to walk in there and, all respect to Dylan Gabriel. I'm sure he's a great kid, but my money is there's going to be a level of intimidation for Dylan Gabriel when he sees Shedeur Sanders the first time because he knows he's a better player than him on the field.
Interesting. Very good. So bookmakers, fans, and media all had it wrong on Sanders. Do we have it wrong on this Denver-LA series? Denver has home court. Tough place to play. Clippers $1.60 to win the series. I couldn't believe they were down 20 and then came all the way back, and then you had the buzzer beater with what Gordon did. What's the thought here on how this will play out? Series tied at 2.
I'm in on the Clippers as I have been from the start. I think the most likely series bet was probably Clippers in 6. So I think you're getting a lot of good value if you can find that 1 or 1.5 for Game 5 coming up. The Nuggets are washed, just like the Lakers are. They can play 5 playable guys, if that. Right? That's if Michael Porter doesn't get suspended. That's if Westbrook comes back, fine. But Joker is Joker. He's amazing. Anything is possible. You never want to count the guy out. But when you look at the rest of the teams, right, you have to figure that the Clippers are going to have a little bit of momentum, knowing that they came back in that fourth quarter and knowing that they can win here. It's hard to see Denver winning the way they've won 2 more times.
Okay, and you also think, I totally agree with that, because I think if Denver would come back to win the series, they would get absolutely blasted in maybe a sweep against the Thunder or maybe 5 games. But you think the Thunder, it's not going to be as easy for them as what some people think? Why?
No, I think the Clippers and the Wolves can both give the Thunder a lot of problems. And it's simply because depth of roster, length, and athleticism, the way they play defense. And when you're an inexperienced playoff team and you can't rely on your depth and out hustling people and just wearing them down throughout a game like they would to a Denver, like they would to a Lakers, where it's just going to be inevitable wave after wave. When you're playing against teams that can match that, you're going to run into that when you play Minnesota, especially when you play the Clippers. I think you can definitely be in for a long series there. It's not a given at all that Oklahoma City is going to come out of the West.
All right. I'm glad someone hasn't said that before. That's strong. Very good. Our buddy Chad Andrus on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow the money. Pauly and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. How about Game 5 tonight? Another strange series. Colorado's blown Dallas out in 2 games. The 2 losses were in overtime. What do you think now? Also, they don't have home ice, and they're a good-sized favorite.
Yeah, from the Denver standpoint, it's almost the exact opposite of the Clippers-Nuggets series, right? Where you feel like you're tied in the series, but in this one, Denver has control. Denver has been the better hockey team. And I think you saw in Game 4 what happens when they're allowed to skate freely and the ice is open and they can play and use their speed and their skill. It's a domination is what it is, because Dallas is grinding down the game. They're mucking it up. When you go there every spring, this happens every playoffs, teams that have to go and play in Dallas, it's bad ice. Guys fall down. They lose the puck. You can't skate freely. That skill, that speed isn't evident. So that's what the Stars are going to do again tonight. They have to play that type of grinded out game, because when it's wide open, they can't skate with the Avalanche, and very few teams can. That's why when I look at tonight, especially when we look at a Game 5 and then a potential Game 7 in Dallas, I'm looking hard at unders. I'm looking at hard at no goal in the first 10, because Dallas has to play that way. They can't let Colorado jump on them again. It's just the situation of playing there and the way they are forced to play to compete. If it turns into, up and down contest, Colorado is going to blow their doors off again, but Dallas is going to make them, fight and not carry it across the blue line. They're going to make them dump and chase. It's the way they have to play.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look at the first period under as well, 1.5 goals in that game tonight.
Yeah. The one thing I would look at on a positive side is some of the guys that were off to slow starts for the Avalanche are really starting to turn it around. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, guys, a big part of this is Gabe Landeskog being injected in that lineup and moving up to the second line, right? He's making a huge difference. He made an enormous play in front of the net that wasn't on his goal, on the Sam Girard goal, and it's starting to open things up for other guys. The one guy I would look at for an anytime goal scorer tonight, Brock Nelson was making some huge plays through the middle of that game, and particularly on that Girard goal. 425 for him as an anytime goal scorer.
Very good. I'll take a peek as soon as we're done here. You can follow Chad on X. He's at Chad Andrus, 104.3 The Fan in Denver. Thanks, Chad. We appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
Great job. 6.5 under -130 at DK, under 105 first period as well. And he recommends the no goal in the first 10. Whether you're placing your first bet or you're playing the ponies for years, the VSiN Kentucky Derby Betting Guide has everything you need to get ahead on Derby Day, breakdown on how to bet on horse racing, which is great for beginners, previews of the Derby and the Oaks, and best bets as well. It drops April 30th. It's yours with the VSiN Pro subscription. Start today, just $9.99. You get your first 30 days with the Derby Guide, every best bet, every host, every guest, and the betting splits in the 24/7 video. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We'll grade our bets from over the weekend and tell you what we're betting tonight and moving forward. That's next here with In Pocket Play.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're up.
Tough one to start Saturday with the Heat. Cavs game over. Oh, that was tough. We got beat by a point. The Cavs scored 124. No help from Miami. Bucks first half, again, this was strange with the 0-2 angle. Bucks first half, a loser. Bucks come back to win the game, though, and the all-time game from Trent. Senators avoided the sweep. They beat Toronto. Pistons money line. What a series this has been. Knicks win both road games by a total of 3 points.
I said earlier the Pistons could have swept them. That's not that far-fetched.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
No, absolutely. You know, up double digits in the fourth quarter. Hero over 2.5 made threes. I don't know what that was. Better job defensively, but he wasn't aggressive, and it seemed like everyone quit. Timberwolves money line game 3, and they got it done as well. Kings to win the series. Oh, boy. Plus $1.10. This is juicy, my friend. Big game 5 tomorrow. Can't wait. No lead is safe. Pistons to win the series 2-1. In trouble. Pacers to win the East 19-1. Kings to win the Cup 10-1. Wild to win the series $1.10. Too much of an adjustment here. This whole series, it can't be, like Minnesota, Vegas is like a huge 260 favorite now to win the series. I know home ice isn't the be-all, end-all, but what a crazy reaction. Okay, you won a game in overtime. You saved your series. Okay, you can't be 230 now.
Right, if you go from the very beginning when they dropped the puck from game 1 to the end of overtime in game 4, you're telling me that the Golden Knights should continue to be this big of a favorite?
Yeah.
How? That makes no sense. Again, all the numbers about the Wild earlier in the year, like one of the best teams in hockey, had some injuries. Okay, now they're back to who they were then. They're playing right there. I think they've been the better team overall in the series.
Mm-hmm. Right back with the Cavs and Heat over. 211.5, 212. Seems to me it's more of a regular season feel type game when it's 3-0 and it's more open. And again, the Cavs can get what they want offensively. And every game should have gone over this year head-to-head. It's 5-1. It's 5-1 this year. We got the fluke on Saturday. Blues to win the series, plus 150. I've won 14 in a row at home. I'm putting game 6 in my pocket already. Hellebuck has allowed 4 or more goals in 6 straight road playoff games. Little man on his shoulders talking to him as well. If the Jets win in 7, so be it. But he's making a mess of himself again, and it's tough to watch. When the guy has the yips and he's a sieve right now. What's going on with Hellebuck in the playoffs? And Warriors money line tonight, $1.70. Good luck.
All right. Adams over 5.5 on Saturday. That was good. Sengun over 10.5. That got there as well. 2 units on the Angels, minus 1.5 on the run line against the Angels, plus 110.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I wish we had more schedule spots like that.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more players who are talking about it 2 days in advance, saying how much they hate it.
Right.
So, and Giannis triple-double did not get there.
Close, though.
Yeah, needed some more assists in that game. That was a Lahu Zahur. Tonight, I'm going small tonight. I want to have like 8 bets. I can't get there. I don't love a ton. But we'll go with Terry Eason over 5.5 rebounds for the Rockets. Even money. Again, the numbers have been adjusted too much, in my opinion, on Adams and Sengun to go to war with him one more time. And also Braves team total over 5.5, minus 118. You talked about this a couple times on the show. Feltner has been absolutely rocked against this Braves offense. This is at Coors. That's the way I'm going to approach the game. I wanted to do a total for the game or the first 5 over. I don't know if I can rely on the Rockies at all.
Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimum, card never declined. 100% approval for all betting deposits, no waiting on that wire. And no outrageous fees when you go over your limit. Earn cashback rewards. Get paid for what you love doing, which is betting and playing. Sign up today, edgeboost.bet, promo code FTM. Get it now, we love it. Edge Boost, deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. Tomorrow, Freak is minus 380 to have most points, and he is plus $1.10 to score 35.
Well, here's what I would be very careful of with Giannis tomorrow night. That game, because again, you talk about the whatever matchup you're talking about now in the playoffs, NHL or the NBA, which team's been the better team? It's not close. The Pacers are obviously the better team here to the Bucks. And I think Tony Rizzo said this earlier. Pacers, Cavs could be, oh my God, sign me up for 7 games of that. That might be electric. There's a decent chance, I would say, the Pacers turn that game tomorrow night into an absolute bloodbath. And
sure,
the Bucks and Giannis just goes to Doc and says, my season's done. I'm hitting the bench. So I would not exactly be super high on playing any positive props tomorrow night with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. Now, the rest of the team is intriguing. Is it Trent? Play Porter, please. Please, Doc, play Porter. I would play Porter props
for sure.
The Trent thing might just been a fluke.
How about green props with the threes? You see what his nickname is? I did not know this. I was unaware of this till the other night.
What is it?
Dairy Bird.
Really?
What? It's pretty good.
Okay, not bad.
I don't mind it.
Not bad.
From that state, it works.
Okay. Do you have a comparison to what we just watched with Sanders?
Can I flip it and go, so it would be just like a huge dog to come in? Because what do you think the odds of this would have been? Sanders to go in the 5th round. Or, you know what? No, to go Saturday, I mean.
Imagine what you had to put that up. Books had to put up undrafted once the free fall happened. And then he goes 144th because the owner steps in Cleveland.
We got a tweet on Friday during our show. Somebody grabbed this. Again, think about the spot that he's in. Still on the board. Round 2 yet to begin. Grabbed 28-1 not to go in the 2nd round.
Oh.
So what do you think he was to go in the 5th round? I mean, there is no comp. All I will throw at you is Leicester City being 5,000-1 to win their title. Because the odds on this happening, again, I don't even know what else to say.
I'm trying to compare it in terms of like a guy, everyone having it wrong other than the NFL people. You know, media, fans, whatever. And because, again, in December, minus $2 to be the number 1 pick overall. Minus $2. Then the prop was 8.5. Then it went to 11.5. Then it went to 21.5. On Thursday, he was minus 2,500 to go in the 1st round. Minus 2,500. And then when we were on then Friday, the prop was, he was $1.50 to go 33rd. Well, there's no way the Browns will, well, Brady will take him. The Raiders will take him. And then that continued, and then all these quarterbacks went and then you got the 26-year-old going in front of him. Then it was like, really, it's bonkos.
I had, some of the other guys who still went in front of him, it's just, I had the Steelers that drafted him at 5-1. And every time they came up on the board, like the Steelers are picking 83rd with their next pick. And they'd be like, I picked 70. I'm like, is he going to fall to 83? Is that really going to happen? And then, you know what? He was available at number 83. And I'm like, is this the time? Nope. Steelers come back on the board like at 124 or wherever it was. He's still there. And like 10 picks in advance, I keep watching. I'm like, is he going to be there? He is. They're going to take him now? Nope. I just gave up at that point. I'm like, they're not going to take the guy. If they haven't taken him yet, there's no way they're going to take him. Thanks to Gary on X for sending me this. Evidently, Delaney Walker, former tight end.
Yeah.
He was saying that
people gave him credit. He's the one guy who had it right.
He might have a podcast, I guess. I don't know. But it looks like he bet his co-host like $1,000 or a couple of $1,000 that he was not going to go. And that he said that he's going to land in the 5th round. He's laughing at people. He's like, he's not going in the 1st round. He's not going to go in the first 2 rounds. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's okay.
Wild, right? That's good.
I'd say so.
We got in a dangerous place, too. It was unfortunate what some people were saying as well. It reminded me of the Joker Embiid MVP talk, what people were doing with race and this other stuff. And it's just, it was unfortunate what was happening. You're showing up to meetings with your hat sideways. You're taking FaceTime calls. And a lot of this was self-inflicted. And we know for a fact he was taking interviews and saying, I don't want to go to these teams.
What do you think about the kids pranking him with the phone call?
That's too bad. I know that. Yeah. Well, he's not the only one though. Warren got pranked.
He did like 3 guys.
Some
overall.
guy for the Bills. So that's another thing the NFL has to do a better job. That the kid, Olbrecht's got his iPad out. He's got all the phone numbers there, and then the kid's like, "Okay, I'm going to play a joke."
Yeah, I'm not a big prank guy. Never have been. I think it's kind of ridiculous. However, if you're going to bash them and only them, and not say anything about Sanders evidently being a complete disaster in interviews, then there's a double standard there.
It's a job interview. Come on.
Yeah.
If you want a good all-time prank, YouTube an Artie Lang story, what Sinatra did with a Bob Uecker connection. We're getting the mafia involved and driving a guy out to the desert.
Yeah.
It was a prank. I'm like, just to zing a guy and get a guy back.
All right, stay tuned. VSiN Primetime is next for 4 hours, followed by Cash Chanel with Joe Serralo, and a reminder to wake up tomorrow morning with VSiN by the books with Dave and Jensen at 7 a.m. Eastern. Good luck tonight.